Hello and welcome to Why Can't I Meditate? I'm Deb Phelps from Peaceful Wellness, and if meditation has ever felt confusing, frustrating, or just not what you expected, you're not alone. Hi friends, and welcome to this week's episode. Have you ever been talking with someone and halfway through their sentence you realize you're not actually listening anymore? You're writing your grocery list, you're planning dinner, wondering if you remember to send that email. Or maybe you're preparing what is going to be a truly excellent response. The only problem is they're still talking. And I'll tell you, I think we've all done that. Today, I'd like to explore something meditation has quietly taught me: how to listen more fully, not only to ourselves, but to the people around us. Now, listening sounds simple, right? But real listening is surprisingly rare. Sometimes we're listening just enough to know when it's our turn to speak. Sometimes we're already planning our advice, or we're finishing the other person's sentences in our minds. Sometimes we hear one word, and suddenly we're remembering something that happened to us in 1998. The conversation has quietly become about us, and the other person doesn't even know we've left. Meditation has helped me notice when my attention wanders in conversation, just as it wanders during meditation. And the practice is exactly the same. We notice and gently return. One of the greatest gifts we can offer another person is our intention, is our attention. Not perfect attention, just genuine presence. When someone feels truly heard, something changes. They often slow down. They feel safer. They feel less alone. And here's the interesting thing: we don't always have to fix what they're experiencing. Sometimes they aren't even asking us to solve anything. Sometimes they simply want someone willing to stay with them. And that reminds me of something we've talked about recently: meeting the moment, not fixing it. Listening to often exactly that, meeting another person's moment without rushing to change it. Now, I think many of us are enthusiastic helpers, right? Someone shares a problem, and before they finish, we've already come up with 6 solutions. 7 if coffee has kicked in. Sometimes advice is wonderful. Sometimes it's exactly what's needed. But sometimes the greatest kindness is simply saying, "That sounds really hard," and then being quiet. Now, I know being quiet can be surprisingly difficult, especially when we're convinced we have a brilliant answer. Believe me, friends, I've been there too. Meditation teaches us something beautiful. It teaches us to become comfortable with pauses. Not every silence has to be filled. Not every conversation has to be hurried. Sometimes understanding arrives because we waited one more breath. Sometimes another person continues speaking and says the thing they were really trying to say all along. If we had interrupted, we might never have heard it. So this week, I invite you to choose one conversation each day. It doesn't need to be a long conversation. And simply practice listening. And when the other person finishes speaking, Take one slow breath before you respond. And gently ask yourself, what did I actually hear? You may be surprised by what changes. Now let's practice listening together for our meditation today. Find a comfortable position. Allow your body to settle. And if it feels comfortable, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a slow breath in and a gentle breath out. And again, breathing in and breathing out. Allow yourself to arrive. Notice the support beneath you. Notice the natural rhythm of your breathing. There is nothing you need to change. Simply listen. Listen to the breath as it comes and as it goes. Now begin to notice the sounds around you. Perhaps there are sounds nearby. Perhaps sounds farther away. There's no need to identify them. Simply receive them. Allow each sound to come and go. Notice that awareness doesn't need to hold on to any sound. It simply listens. Now gently bring that same quality of listening inward. Notice your breath. Notice your body. Notice your thoughts. Not trying to stop them, not trying to change them. Simply listening. Listening with curiosity. Listening with kindness. Perhaps silently repeating, may I listen with presence. And again. May I listen with presence. Now imagine someone you care about, and without creating a conversation, simply hold the intention. May I listen with an open heart. Breathing in, receiving. Breathing out, softening. Rest here for a few quiet breaths. Now begin to deepen your breathing. Notice the room around you. Gently move your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, allow your eyes to open. One of the most generous things we can offer another person is our full attention. Not because we'll always know the right words, but because presence itself can be healing. Meditation teaches us to listen to our breath, to ourselves, to the people we love, and perhaps to the quiet spaces between the words. And so, friends, as you move through your week, perhaps choose one conversation where you allow yourself to slow down, listen a little more fully, and leave a little more room before you respond. You may not have the perfect answer. You may not need one. Sometimes being present is enough. So as we bring this to a close, to remind you that you're warmly invited to join my free school community, where we explore meditation together and connect with others who are building a more mindful life. You'll also find my audio meditation library on Palette with a growing collection of guided practices available for $5 a month. You can find more information at meditatewithdeb.com. I'm Deb Phelps, and this is Why Can't I Meditate? May you offer someone the simple gift of your presence today. And may you discover that listening is sometimes one of the kindest things we can do. I'll see you next time.